All right, so today we're going to deep dive into this review of Alok Kumar's book, Awaken, A Journey Through Spirituality.
Sounds good.
It seems like a pretty in-depth look, and, we're going to try to break it down for you.
Yeah.
Find out, what are the big ideas, and even more importantly, what can you actually, take away from it and use in your own life?
Exactly. And how can we apply it to our own journey of self-discovery?
Right, without getting too bogged down in the spiritual theory and jargon.
Yeah, for sure.
So the review really dives into this idea of spiritual awakening as self-discovery.
Mm-hmm.
And it even calls the book like a roadmap to kind of, help you understand yourself better and get in touch with what Kumar calls your inner divinity or something.
Right.
But one thing that jumped out at me right away was that the book really seems to push this idea of a personalized spiritual path.
Oh, interesting.
It's not about following some, rigid set of rules.
Right. That's key. I think a lot of people get tripped up on that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm curious, how does the review kind of touch on this challenge of, finding your own unique path when there are so many different ideas out there about spirituality?
That's a good question. Well, it seems like Kumar highlights some of the, the usual suspects in terms of spiritual practices.
Okay.
Like yoga, meditation, and mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
But the review emphasizes that the book really encourages you to weave these into your everyday life.
Interesting.
Not just, as a one-off thing, but as a way to grow and connect on a deeper level.
I see. So it's about taking these familiar practices and using them to really cultivate a deeper awareness within ourselves.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
The review mentions Kumar's take on this is a bit different from just, the physical or stress reduction benefits you might typically associate with these practices.
Right, and that's where it gets really interesting because the review talks about how Kumar really beautifully connects our inner state with the natural world. He presents spending time in nature as this powerful way to, boost your spiritual awareness and just overall well-being.
Oh, that's fascinating. It's like this common thread you find in a lot of different spiritual traditions.
Yeah, it is. And it makes you think about, how our modern lives can sometimes feel so disconnected from that natural world.
Exactly, especially with so many of us living in these, urban environments.
Right. So it sounds like the book is suggesting that we need to make a conscious effort to reconnect with nature as a way to, facilitate that inner reflection.
Mm-hmm. And gain those spiritual insights.
Absolutely. And, speaking of inner reflection, the review really hammers home that self-awareness is the cornerstone of Kumar's whole perspective.
Right. Makes sense.
It's all about understanding your own values, your beliefs, your place in the world as the foundation for figuring out your purpose.
Yeah. I mean, that really makes sense because without that foundational understanding of ourselves, how can we truly embark on any meaningful spiritual exploration?
Right. It would be like wandering around aimlessly.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit and talk about the book itself, how it's written.
Okay.
The reviewer found Kumar's writing style really engaging and thought-provoking, but also warm and personal.
Interesting.
And apparently it's structured in a logical way, moving through different aspects of spirituality step by step.
Nice.
And this is what I think you'll appreciate. It includes practical exercises and meditations.
Oh, that's really cool.
So it's not just all theory. You actually get some tools to work with.
I like that.
Yeah, me too. And here's another thing that stood out. Kumar shares a lot of personal stories throughout the book.
Mm-hmm.
And the review says this makes the whole journey feel so much more relatable and authentic.
Yeah, I can see that.
It's like you're having a conversation with someone who's been there, done that.
Right, not just some, distant authority figure.
Exactly. And speaking of, the challenges of the spiritual path, it seems like the book offers some pretty practical advice on how to deal with things like self-doubt.
Oh, that's important.
Distractions, and even societal pressures that can pull you off course.
Yeah, for sure. Those are all very real obstacles.
So based on the review, it sounds like Kumar's book is a great place to start if you're looking for, a comprehensive overview of different spiritual ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like it gives you those concrete exercises and tools.
Right.
Plus, it feels really authentic because of those personal stories. And the language is accessible to anyone, no matter where they are on their spiritual journey.
Definitely. And I think, having those practical strategies is what sets this book apart from others.
Totally. Now, the reviewer did point out a couple of things to consider.
Oh.
Some topics might not be explored in super deep detail.
I see.
So if you're looking for really specific, in-depth information, you might need to look elsewhere.
Right.
And the reviewer also mentioned that, it could benefit from maybe some more diverse examples.
Okay.
But overall, it sounds like a great starting point for exploration.
Yeah, definitely.
So to wrap up our deep dive into this review of Awaken, it seems like Alok Kumar has really created something special here. A book that's both comprehensive and personal.
Right.
With a big emphasis on doing rather than just knowing.
Exactly. It's about actively engaging with your own spiritual growth.
And with that in mind, here's a final thought for you to chew on.
Okay.
Since the book is all about finding your own unique path, what's one small thing you could start doing today to, cultivate a little more self-awareness or connect with something bigger than yourself?
It's a great question.
It doesn't have to be anything huge, just one little step that resonates with you.
I love that idea.
And that's our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And until next time, keep exploring.
Keep learning.